Wait, let me show you how I made this beautiful Bubu Kaftan gown in a very simple way, such that even as a total beginner, you can make it for yourself or even make it for sale. So let's get started. So to start this project, we have 6 yards of Ankara fabrics and a black lace, okay? So the length of the gown we are working with is 58 inches in length, and we added 2 inches, which gives us 60 inches in length. So we've measured 60 inches twice and then folded the fabric into two again, which is total of into 4. So we took the neck width of 4 inches and then took the front neck depth 4 inches. Okay, so we connected it in a curve, and then we are going to take the back neck depth is a V neckline for the back with a bow tie. Okay, so the back neck depth we took 10 inches, we connected it to the neck width. So next we are going to take the shoulder slant of 1 inch. We are going to connect it to the neck width. Okay, so after connecting it, we are going to take the sleeve circumference of 14 inches. So I marked 14 inches. On that line of 14 inches, we are going to impute our bust circumference. So the bust we are working with is 50 divided by 4, which is giving us 12.5. Mark your 12.5 plus 1 inch seam allowance, which is 13.5. I placed my tape again and took the true waist length of 17 inches. On that line of 17 inches, still impute your bust circumference of 13 and make a curve around the armhole area. So after that, I'm going to shift my fabric to the length, and then I'm going to make it in an A-line manner, and then I'm going to connect the line from the true waist down to the hem of the gown. Okay, so after marking, we are done. The next thing we are going to do is to cut what we have all out. So after cutting to this point, I decided to change the sleeve. Okay, so from that 14 inches, that part we marked, I came down by 9 inches. After marking the 9 inches, I checked what we have is total of 23 inches. Okay, so 14 plus 9 gave us 23 inches in total. So from that 9 inches or 23 inches, make a curve to that armhole area just the way I did it. Okay, connect it. So that is how the sleeve is going to be. So we are going to cut it from the down part, follow that curve, okay, instead of the first one. So we are making do with the second one to have that sharp edge around that down part of the sleeve. So we are going to cut that. After cutting, we are going to cut the shoulder slants and the neckline. So after dropping the neckline for the front, we folded the one for the back and dropped the neckline for the back. Okay, don't make the mistake of cutting the front and the back together. Okay, so next we have, after cutting, we have to place our tape from -4, because the neck width we took was 4 inches. Okay, so that 4 inches is on fold, which will give us 8 inches, plus 1 inch seam allowance will give us 9 inches. So that PCC in my hand is 9 inches by 1.5. So we are going to fold it the way I'm folding it. We'll sew it and then turn it. We are going to use it as strap for the neckline for the back. You see that part I placed it? That is where that PCC is going to be. So now we are going to use bias to turn it. So next we are going to work on the front panel. Okay, so this is the front side of the fabric. We had to fold it into two, place it on fold, and then mark the center of the gown for the front part. Okay, it is the front side of the Ankara fabric, so mark it to the end, which is the center. After marking it, open it up. So after opening, this is what we have. Now for us to create this style, we are going to use 30 inches of the lace fabric. So I'm going to place these 30 inches on top of the gown itself, okay? Just the way I am placing it, do yours exactly like that. So after placing it, see what I did, that's the center side, and then we are going to pin it from the down side, okay? See what I'm doing. Use your pin to secure it. Make sure the edge is aligned, okay? For one part, whether the other part is enough or not shouldn't be a problem to you. Concentrate on the part that is going to carry the lace fabric. So I'm using my pin to secure it from the down. I'll secure it. After securing it, I am going to trim the excesses at the side that I am cutting, where the lace fabric is supposed to be. So I'll connect it, okay? I'll cut it and connect it to that armhole area. So after cutting, I am going to adjust my fabric down. I'm going to cut the neckline. So follow the neckline of the Ankara that you have, okay? Follow exactly that neckline. So after cutting out the neckline, the next thing we are going to do is to cut the shoulder slant for this part as well. After cutting the shoulder slant, we are going to place our tape from -4, okay? Remember the neck width we took is 4 inches on fold, so we've opened it up. So 4 inches, the full back is 7.5 plus 1.5 inches seam allowance. That is 7 plus 1.5 is giving us 8.5. So that 8.5, I marked it and connected it to the armhole area where we made that curve. Just see the way I did it. So I'm going to pin it up and then cut out the remaining excess, okay? See what I'm doing. You will cut out only the lace. Cut out only the lace and leave the main fabric, okay? So after cutting, this is what we have. We are going to use our blue bias to pipe that area. So next we are going to shift the down to the center part, okay, so that we'll be able to work on the center panel. So now what we are going to do is to place our tape again from this other shoulder from -4. Then we are going to mark the full back of 7.5. So on the line of 7.5, we are going to come down by 10 inches. You can make do with 11 inches if you want. So after coming down by 10 or 11 inches, make a curve, okay? So slant it up. See what I'm doing. Connect it to the center panel that we marked, that chalked part. Make a curve around that area and sink it into the center and take your line all the way down. You see how simple it is? So the next thing to do now is to cut what we have. So I'm going to secure it with a pin and then I'm going to cut what I have out following the chalk. So I'm cutting only the lace. So I'm starting from the down part. Cut only the lace fabric. Do not cut the Ankara fabric, which is the main fabric. So I'm going to cut, leaving half an inch seam allowance along that line, okay? So cut exactly what you have following the shape. So after cutting, this is what we have. We're going to use blue bias, okay? I'm just using the black for the moment to demonstrate. So we are using bias at that side and then the neckline and this other side. Let's head over to our sewing machine to start the sewing process. So we are going to start with the front panel, okay? So place your bias at the wrong side of the front panel. Then start the sewing just the way I am sewing it, okay? So after sewing, when you get to the end, trim off the excess bias. After cutting it out, then you are going to remove all the threads and then notch the neckline, okay? Take your time to notch the neckline all around. This is to enable the bias to relax when you turn it to the front side to sew. So after notching, we are going to turn the bias to the front side. to cover the rough edges for the neckline. So take your time and sew it, okay? So after sewing it, the next part we are going to sew is the side. So enjoy the process. So next we are going to pin the side. After sewing, this is what it is looking, okay? So we are going to sew the side, that line I'm pointing, that is where we are going to sew. So place your bias on the edge, okay, and start the sewing. So you're going to follow exactly the curve of the sewing, exactly the shape that you have. That is what you're going to sew. So after sewing to that point, cut the excess and then sew it again, using it to cover the rough edges. So after sewing, this is how it is looking, very neat. So we are going to sew this other part now. So this side now that I am pointing, that's the part we are going to sew. We are going to follow the shape all the way down. So place your bias on top of it, but we are going to sew it from the down part, okay? So place your bias at the edge of the lace and then sew it all the way to the upside, okay? So if you've watched up to this point, please subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification bell so that you will not miss out on any of our beautiful tutorials, because we upload new videos every single week. Now sewing down to this point, we are getting to the edge where we have a curve, okay? So let your needle be inside of the material and then raise your footer up and sew the part again. So after sewing down to that edge again, see what we are going to do. The needle is going to be inside of it. Raise your footer, drop it back, and then continue your sewing, because those edges are sharp edges, so you need to be careful while sewing it. So after sewing to the end, cut your bias, cut your thread, and then flip it over to the side just the way I am arranging it. That is exactly how you are going to arrange it, and then use your sewing machine to hold it all the way down. Enjoy the process. So we are done sewing the front, okay, with the lace fabric. So after sewing, this is what it is looking. So next we are going to work on the back panel, okay? So before we work on the back panel, I use the sewing machine to hold the sides of the lace, okay, in order for it to stabilize that side, okay? So after sewing that part, we are going to use our bias to turn the neckline for the back. Remember, the back side is going to carry a bow tie and a strap at that back side, okay? So we are done with the front side now. We are going to work on the back side. So this is me sewing the strap, the 9 inches strap, trim the excess and then turn it out. So after turning it out, this is what we have. So we are going to use it for the neckline for the back. So now we are going to mark 1 inch downwards from the shoulder. Mark another 1 inch. At that point you mark the 1 inch, That is where you are going to place your strap. Okay, so use your sewing machine to secure it from the front side. So we placed the strap at the front side of the fabric, so sew it around that area to secure it, and then do the same for the other part. After which we are going to use bias to turn it. See what I did? Flip it over to this other side with the material and then secure that edge. After securing that edge, we are going to use bias to turn the neckline. After turning the neckline, we are going to join the shoulder for the front and the back. Time for us to join the shoulder. So we are going to join the back panel and the front panel, so back side facing each other. Okay, so that's the part we are going to sew. Arrange that shoulder, sew that part, and sew the other side as well. Use 1/4 inch to join the shoulder to enable you to have a clean finish. After sewing from the front side, we are going to turn it over and sew it at the back side. So next we are going to join the sides of the gown. Okay, so we are going to join from the front side as well. After sewing one side of it, then we are going to sew the other part and then turn it over to the wrong side. After turning over to the wrong side, we are now going to couple the gown actually with 1/2 inch. So once we are done doing that, the next thing we are going to do is for us to fold the sleeve. Okay, hem the sleeve with 1/2 inch, and after hemming the sleeve with 1/2 inch, we're going to fold the down side of the gown with 2 inches. Okay, so once we are done folding it, the next thing we are going to do is to form the bow tie for the back. So this is me folding the sleeve. Okay, so after folding the sleeve, we are done. It's time for us to hem the down side of the gown. We are doing that off camera. Okay, and then we are going to do the bow tie that we are going to use. So this is how the gown is looking. It is looking very neat. So this is the bow tie. Use any measurement of your choice for your bow tie depending on the size that you want, and then form your bow tie. Then use your bias to hold it. Use your sewing machine to sew it down. After that, we are done. We're going to place it on the back side. So after doing the bow tie, we have to tack it to the back side. So we are done with the gown. This is how everything came out. Look at the sleeve, looking pointy and beautiful. The same for the other part, and we also folded the downside of the gown. So the back is looking beautiful as well. So our model is going to wear this outfit for us to see. This outfit is just perfect on my clients. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure you watch the next video on your screen to improve your sewing skills even more. Don't forget to like and subscribe and give this video a huge thumbs up. This is Lois Ada. See you in the next class.